Okay. Hi everyone, and welcome back to this channel in the month of July of 2026. I hope you're doing well, and here we'll continue with the project for DARPA Ashram for Marines. ASATOMA, Sat Gamaya, Tamasoma, JYOTIR Gamaya, MRITYOR, AMRITAM Gamaya. Please lead us from untruth to truth. Lead us from darkness back to light. Lead us from mortality back into eternal life. So this was in Sanskrit, okay? And here we are also praying to Holy Mother, Divine Mother, Mother Mary, okay, the mystical rose. And that's how through these energies, cosmic energies of our Holy Mother, we are resurrecting our consciousness, our hologram, our DNA. Ave Maria, Rosa Mystica, ora pro nobis. Okay, so that's the Hail Mary, the mystical rose. Please pray for us. Gratias, right? Thank you very much. So welcome back, guys, to this channel. I'm happy to kind of see you here in this portal. This is actually Cosmic Ascension, Universal Ascension here, and this is for starseeds who were whether abducted or who were just kind of recruited in these black ops for military covert operations, and they ended up in the fallen tree of life with the whole black goo, and in the phantom matrix, right? The fallen realities with those fallen angelics, hybrid Anunnaki, Nazi, Draco, Gestapo faction. And of course involved in horrible crimes, right? Who belong to HYDRA, the terroristic organizations owned by DARPA, okay, the Palantir AI. So we're dealing with the AI of those negative aliens that it doesn't even belong to this universe. And so welcome starseeds or indigo warriors, ancient souls or souls from Tara, that's 5D Earth. Okay, are the Pleiadians, Rosicrucians here, highly advanced souls, sensitives, of course, also souls from, and there was other Druid, that's the Druid Celtic lineages, okay, and of the Rose line lineages. And last time we talked about the conservation ethics, and I want to touch on yoga, the union with the divine. That's actually my path. It's a path of passion, path of liberation, moksha, liberation, and again in Sanskrit. And that's what really helped me to overcome. So I just want to here show you, so this is a project for DARPA, right? We're dealing with the 6-pointed star, the SOPHIA, okay? With these triangles here, divine masculine, divine feminine merging together, how important it is, that being that 0-point divine neutrality, okay? And in these very interesting times, how important have the armor of God, the golden dome of protection, or here we work with the 12D shielding. Okay, everything on Ascension Glossary or Energetic Synthesis, the HIEROS, GAMOS, or my website, yanakalai.com, of course, project for DARPA, Ashram for Marines, okay? So you can find all that, and let me see. Yes, so this is, I just wanted to show you, this is for, this is Divine Union, right? So this is the King Arthur and Queen Guinevere, the Rose line lineages. We are resurrecting their codes. That's why the ashram, right? And Semper Fidelis, right? So start being faithful to the Holy Mother, or that's the Holy Spirit. So Semper Fidelis, Spiritus Sanctus, CHRISTOS, SOPHIA, Maria, Magdalena, Fatima, Aurora, Pallas, Athena. So we are the Emerald Order here, right? We are doing all this correction and resurrection of energies, and this is what we are making sure we're returning back to our Diamond Sun DNA, 12 strands DNA. Okay, so so this is my project here. Let me see. So of course the 12D here, the 12D Universal Tree of Life. Okay, because they were plastering the 10D over us, right? With those metatronic reversals. So it means weaponizing the first chakra, right? The air wave frequency, actually just totally separating us from Mother Earth, Mother Nature, right? And so they took out the 8th chakra, the golden 8, right? That's why we are running the AD reversals or Metatronic reversals or Draconian reversals, that's 10D. They took out the 8 sphere and of course the 12 sphere. They don't have the negative ones, even from the Visa system, they don't have access to the 12 dimension. That's why it's so important to remember your divine original blueprint of your DNA is 12D. Okay, the Katara grid, because some of those guys also military there of the mother line lineages, right? Katars. So we're resurrecting the teachings of the Holy Mother, Divine Mother. Okay, so they pretty much took out the 12 sphere, the 8 spheres, and they reversed this, right? And that's the satanic hierarchy. Okay, and this is kind of what we've been well, battling here, fighting here, right? Here the Ashtar command, with the solar rishis, right? For this, right? Make sure we're going back to the true ascension timelines. That's your 12D. And of course, here with the Rishi consciousness, Rishi agreement, we're working with the threefold founder flame, and to overcome this matrix here, which is 10D. So that's why, it's special forces like in the in the spiritual realm. So the spiritual warriors, the rainbow warriors. They also the warriors from Shambhala, Shambhala Shangri-La, working with the Agatha network, of course, and with the High Council and the Andromeda. The Andromeda, they're hosting this ascension to liberate ourselves from that 10D false matrix running reversals backwards, right? The draconian measurements, the hybrid Anunnaki, the fallen tree, the fallen Merkaba, the artificial Merkaba, the fallen tree of life. Okay, so that's the Saturnian kind of lineages, right? I hope you can see that. So that's the phantom matrix. Okay, overlay AI. Those are AI timelines. How important is to be in nature, doing your own meditation, how to be inner sustained, inner directed. That's why we'll talk about yoga. Okay, how really that important is, because we need to liberate ourselves from that finite, fragmented consciousness. That's the flower of death, right? That's the dual, bi-wave frequency, the dual Metatronic flower of life. Okay, the daisy of death. Okay, and we need to go back to non-dual, right? To Trinity, the zero point divine neutrality, the eternal lotuses. Okay, so this is the architecture. I mean, we work with sacred geometry. Those who are of that, kind of architect assembly, hologram. So this is what we're working with. It is universal ascension. We're bringing cosmic energies here to override or transform the universal shadow from all these galactic wars and the Orion war, right? Dealing with the Orion group, the Chimera group, the arachnoids. I mean, with the archons, with those negative aliens, and with their agenda. Whether of depopulation, transhumanism, transgenderism, or this genocide massacre, right? All this DNA mutation, all this harvesting energy from us, right? So-called to establish the new world order, one world order, just so humans are only automatons, and understand that they're draining our energy, that they live, those negative aliens, they're parasitic and vampiristic as well. They live off of us, off of our energies, right? And especially of children, right? So it's time for them to rehabilitate. That's why we have the rehabilitation project for them. Those who are assigned, of course, and have been trained by the Ashtar Galactic Command. And like already said, we are praying to Holy Mother, Divine Mother, Mother Mary, Rosa Mystica, right? The mystical rose, and so on. So how important some of these guys, like I said, they're of the divine feminine, and they need lots of healing and reconstruction, almost reconstruction of their DNA, deprogramming of their subconscious mind because from the Nazi neural link, right? So they need to rewire their subconscious mind, and because the AI software of Armageddon pestilence programming was loaded into their DNA via the CCP JEPs, right? The Chimera effect of all this nanobots, nanotechnology, black goo, right, with the so-called the flower of death, or with their black hearts, okay, And so they ended up in electrostatic bodies. Also, there's the Niburian electrostatic transductions receiving, right? We are the voice to skull technology and all these electronic implants and whatever DARPA, those negative aliens, highly advanced technology, black hole technology that they possess. Of course, it's all stolen from Solar Rishi technology. They just steal our DNA and then they copy all that, counterfeit it, and then they're running those reversals, right, through their AI, through so-called beast machine, right? So we've been dealing with the AI red wave frequency, the red trident, where with black cube technology and so on, and here in the so-called phantom matrix harvesting energy from us, right, with that moon satellite, the false magnetism, actually desecrating the Holy Mother, Divine Mother, especially the Divine Feminine. Divine Mother is coming back online here with the Solar Rishis here in this dimension. So we are pretty much ready for all the resurrection, for all these corrections, for all these healing, transformation, and claiming our power back, right? Claiming our power back and commanding our space and aligning ourselves with who we truly are, calling upon our soul. Okay, how important to blend in with our soul. We are the light of the soul, right? And start remembering who we truly are, connecting to our true divine nature. Okay, so welcome again. That was the introduction last time. Also, we mentioned, Goddess Lakshmi, right? Beautiful energies also of abundance are coming online, especially now. I think the Jupiter in Leo and so on, right? So these golden energies or the crystalline energies, the diamond energies, they're coming online. Last time I also talked about how important is to, this is the yoga kind of practice that I represent, right? How to align our chakras, the bija mantras, the sound. Remember, we are sound, light, frequency, vibration, right? And we have this etheric technology, so-called etheric DNA, 12 strands. That's our 12 strands DNA. I already showed you diamond sun DNA, right? 12 strands DNA. This is the diamond. This is the kingdom of heaven is within us, within our DNA, with our consciousness, with our hologram. So this is what we are actually now building or resurrecting or correcting via that. There's the golden Chris Templar, via the ruby sun DNA. That's King Arthur, okay, and Queen Guinevere, twin flames. So this is the structure that I work with. Of course, you don't need to know all these things. It's just kind of this. We are holding that sacred space for all those choosing to go back home, okay, to their divinity. And you're welcome to work with also platonic solids. We are resurrecting, of course, all the platonic solids that has been also misconstrued and they have been distorted, of course, because they were playing right with the element of earth. They were polluting, of course, our water, right? And the octahedron, right, they were messing up with that, and the tetrahedron, right, very important to resurrect. And of course space, 360-degree clear vision, okay, and the importance of number 369, and like I said, dealing with solfeggio tones, healing music, how important that is to remember that, okay, to know that and to understand and to study that. So the ethics, we talk about the conservation ethics, and of course yamas, niyamas, that's part of yoga, 8 steps of yoga, the ethics of social behavior. Okay, so-called like the moral compass, right, that we need to pretty much embody, okay, or learn about these kind of things like non-violence, no harm, do no harm. It's called ahimsa, not only on a physical level, but also emotional, mental, and spiritual. And those who are these CHRISTOS avatars here, we know we've been dealing with spiritual warfare, right? With all these silent sound weapons and psychotronic weapons, directed energy weapons, scalar weapons, right? Again, stealing everything from our DNA, right? That kind of technology, and again, reversing it. And of course, the chakras of my soul group, the Marines, right? We're our Ashram for Marines, right? They have been all computerized and reversed and desecrated, right? And they get these chips, holographic inserts, the alien with the alien mind control, and they're nothing but puppets, automaton. They become digital avatars, right? it kind of bypasses their conscious mind, and they're just reacting on those signals, impulses that are coming from the dark fleet, right, of those negative fleet of those dark magicians in DARPA. Okay, so we need to really understand the source, where all this coming from, how come that they're behaving like that, you know, and who is really behind it. So very important to be, that's why the consciousness, being mindful, thankful, grateful, right, walking those energies of love and faith and trust and grace and gratitude, how important it is. Okay, and just kind of here we're dismantling the ego, right? The ego pretty much needs to drop, because you know, that's the ego filters. There are dead energy mind control structures that can function as thought forms and belief systems, right? And then especially we're here talking about the negative ego identity, the death culture, the way of life, right? So-called here being normalized, okay, on 3D. And it's actually here, it's used in companion with alien mind control implants, and they were inserted into the physical elemental bodies, right? So we work with the, like I said, we work with the space, air, fire, water, and the earth, okay? And they were inserted into those lower chakras, first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, okay? And so this commenced as an aggressive alien hybridization program due to the planetary infiltration of those negative aliens that actually happened 5,500 years ago. So that's why we have to also touch on and just kind of also the 7 houses of the ego, right? We need to really start being honest with ourselves, you know, embracing those triggers, acknowledge them, so we're able to then release them and overcome them. Just be observer, the compassion, right? You know, the forgiveness, working with the violet flame. I'm a marine of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. Because as you see, you know, the predator force, let me see, in a conscious mind, because yeah, here the walls of separation plus houses of ego, that's the realm of predator, right? So this is what we need to really kind of dismantle. This is what we're here working on. Being conscious about it and working about the personal shadow, and also this universal shadow as well. Okay, because we've been here stuck in the 3D false matrix, okay, run by AI that doesn't even belong to this universe, okay, and especially to Mother Earth, Mother Nature, not even to this galaxy, not even to the solar system. So yeah, so we talk about the non-violence, right? Truthfulness and honesty, how important it is to start being true to you, okay? Start feeling your true divine nature, okay? And how to also, time to really control, being in control of your mind, of your emotions, everything in moderation. We talk about the middle path, the yellow brick road, and that 0 point divine neutrality, observing, right? It's called so-called engage detachment. I mean, we are detaching, but at the same time we're caring and loving, okay? And especially here we need to control our, also, well, detect our senses, control these energy, control our emotions, right? Purify our mind, decalcify the pineal gland, and also control the sexual energies, right? Because you know, here everything's been pretty much over-sexualized, I think, and with all this rape, right? And yeah, demonized. The sexual energy of Holy Mother, Divine Mother has been totally demonized. Running reversals and sodomy, that's what I noticed in military, in those Black Ops dark projects, okay? And that's why all these harvesting energy, and they were stealing energies, right? Also via the parasites, oppressive parasite entities. So how important is to have your boundaries, God's sovereign free boundaries, and you know, have the armor of God, and really protect yourself, not through fear, but through remembering who we truly are. We talk about the non-attachment, right? Just being inner directed, inner sustained, diving deep within, connecting to that divine spark within that sacred chamber of our heart. So the love, the self-love, how important it is, okay? And so these are the ethics of social behaviors, the yamas, the niyamas. Those are ethical principles of personal behavior. How important is to be content. how not constantly being complaining, right? All this complainment and complaining and kind of passive aggressive, right? And all this kind of stuff. But you know, we need to accept our situation and be thankful and grateful, right? Walking those energies of love and faith and trust and grace and gratitude, how important it is, and that will give us inner peace. And so we have to purify ourselves on all levels, right? That's the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. You can find all kinds of things, whether on crystalages.com, right? energeticsynthesis.com. That's from Lisa Renee. Or I kind of created the 12D Ascension Guardian Protocol. Is on my website, yanakalai.com /water. Okay, and then that's why we have to also study ourselves, right? Who we truly are, whether we are our horoscope, you know, numerology and so on, and just being like I said, mindful, being in that meditation. We're just observing our senses, detecting, right, some kind of discomfort within our bodies. So how important is to really center ourselves, find time for ourselves. So we can reassemble ourselves again, because we've been in a fragmented consciousness. We've been so attacked, all this PTSD, right? All this fragmentation, compartmentalization, all this brokenness. So that's why finding that a peaceful moment and somewhere in nature. I mean, for me, this is the ocean, right? The beach, the ocean, and swimming in the ocean, listening to the sound of the ocean, right? Looking at the sky. I did some prayers, okay, for peace, for happiness, and yeah, even just observing the skies, guys, how to be, and grounding, the grounding mechanism to that. Connecting to that crystal heart of Mother Earth, and connecting to also to cosmic heart of Father, Mother, God. I have a 3 hearts meditation also on my website, yanakalai.com /ascension. And so then the disciplining ourselves, right? You know, the spiritual discipline, that was kind of already imbued within me. I'm extremely disciplined. And discipline, I need structure, I need order, I need to understand things. So self-knowledge, being in the know, being in the now, knowledge, the path of illumination, right? Buddha, Samadhi. So these are the energies, frequencies I was pretty much born with, that I represent. And you know, surrendering to source, surrendering to who we truly are. So it means doing our best and leaving the rest to God, right? So these are these yamas, niyamas. Also, that was number 1. Number 2, number 3 is of course yoga postures. There are so many yoga postures for stretching, for movement. For being conscious, where are our blockages and so on. But I'm not going to go over details, especially about that physical yoga, because here I'm more focusing on sound bath healing, learning how to center ourselves, how to calm down, and connecting with that divine child, the divine spark within our heart. And it's of course through breath work. There are lots of breathing exercises, techniques also on YouTube, so we can control our life force energy, because that's pretty much stolen from us, right? And the sexual energy, that's actually the basic of our existence, right? The sexuality, kundalini rising, that's the Holy Mother, Divine Mother, right? And that is within us. The Shakti prana, right? So I talk about Shiva Shakti, how these energies are important to harness these energies, and how to appreciate all these energies, how to be aware of these energies, and to protect ourselves, right? With God's sovereign free boundaries, we are loving ourselves unconditionally. How important is to also withdraw from the external world, especially now full of chaos and illusion, full of horrible things happening, of course, out there. So giving out lots of prayers, right? Meditation. But for our healing, we also have to be selfish in a way, going deep within, going inward and asking for prayers, asking God for help. And the concentration energy, being a strong focus, pretty much on that one point. I mean, I would say whether it's within my heart, those who are very mental, right? So that's the third eye. That's the spot between your eyebrows. That's the pineal gland. But first we need to decalcify, right? Purify the mind, rewire the subconscious mind. There's so much conditioning and programming in the subconscious mind, especially in the military, okay? The guerrilla programming, or the Armageddon programming, you know, with all this Babylonian Empire, Sikar Empire, okay, and with the Chimera effect and so on. So it takes time. So patience, very important to be patient with ourselves and take it step by step, day by day, increments by increments. And of course, after all these, right, all these steps that I just well, after actually it goes simultaneously, whether, you know, you can do it step by step, or it's like everything, you know, it's a spiral, right? You know, you can start, that's how you start then merging with all that. You start meditating, right? And that's how you are then reaching the state of nirvana, samadhi, you know, union with the divine, with source, right? So this is, to me, that's what yoga really represents, because there are lots of other so-called well, translations of yoga, how people perceive yoga, but this is how I perceive yoga. Those yamas, those are social ethics, right? No harm, truthfulness, no stealing of energy, not only physical things, but energy, moderation, everything that what we do, the middle path, right? Buddhism is very good with this. And modesty, how to be simple, honest, modest, and how to be non-attached. The detachment and attachment, right? So it means things are fleeting. Remember, we're soul, we're energy, we're sound and frequency vibration, being attached to physical world, to all possessions, right? That's it's pretty much not the way to go. We have to learn how to detach from all that, and connect with our true self, which is within. And so the niyamas, that's the personal principles, this cleanliness, contentment, austerity, study, self-surrender to source, right? We're surrendering to supreme intelligence through the inner Christ self. That's your inner child that is within that sacred chamber of your heart. Okay, so tapping K27, right? Tapping on our heart here on our chest, how important it is, guys. And of course, it all goes, you know, with the yoga posture, with the breath work, controlling our breath, controlling our prana, right? Which is the source of all energy and the vital force in every being. Okay, and then how important is to calm down, learn to calm down. We are that breath, and diving deep within. And just kind of focusing on one object, or focusing on love, focusing on forgiveness, focusing on our healing, focusing on our transformation, okay? And yeah, and of surrounding ourselves, you know, the golden dome. We can always ask Archangel Michael, golden dome of protection, right? Kind of, I talk about here the 12D shielding, okay? The armor of God, right? Putting the armor of God, again, via our love. And then you know, this is how we build the momentum, right? For manifestation, for empowering ourselves, okay? When we command our space, claim our power back, okay? And this is how we can go really deep into the meditation where all exists. The power of now, being in the now, being in a present moment where time and space totally dissolves, right? And that's how we reach samadhi, superconscious, also called superconscious experience, nirvana, okay? So yeah, so the yoga posture, simple breathing techniques plus meditation aid in cultivating our strong inner core, right? That's our heart structure, and also that's the solar plexus. That's your third chakra. Let me see. So if you can guys see it here, so this is the third chakra, and this is our heart chakra. Okay, are we focusing on that? And this is the inner core, how to be inner sustained, inner directed. And then we'll talk about some other relaxation techniques next time. Many blessings, and namaste.